So Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett are fighting in December. Oh my God. Okay. I'm nervous about this. Specifically because I think honestly Tony needs to be done. Like the more Tony comes back, and we've heard this all before, I'm about to get on a 5-fight win streak and get the title. Well, we heard that against Bobby Green, and a lot of Tony fans were saying, look, he knocked Green down in the first round, which he did. Good on him, especially with the damage he's taken and the way he is declining right now. That is impressive. I got to hand it to him. And maybe I might just be a little more skeptical of his abilities than he is by far. But Paddy Pimblett has obviously cherry picked Tony Ferguson because he's the one person with a name and on the decline, right? And hats off to Tony for taking this up because Paddy Pimblett's stock is at an all-time low even after he won a fight because of that whole Jared Gordon thing. And then you saw Jared Gordon fight Bobby Green, and Green was smoking Gordon. He would have smoked Paddy, and then he had a really interesting fight with Tony Ferguson. Now, I want to say that there's hope that Tony wins this fight because he's a very unorthodox striker, and it's the basic guys, the guys that know how to jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, keep things basic and not over the top, who are now catching him. That's how Gaethje derailed his entire career with basics. And just trying way less and just doing what has always worked in a fight. And Paddy is also pretty out there with his chin and lacks a lot of striking fundamentals. But he's trying to get what he can out of his UFC time. Because I obviously don't see Paddy Pimblett winning the belt anytime soon. He hasn't shown me anything that's going to change my mind. I hope they always can. But Tony's that perfect cherry pick that you could just, this guy's on the decline. He's on a 6-fight losing streak. And I'm going to be honest, I think that Paddy wins this one, unless I see different. Honestly, as a gigantic Tony Ferguson fan, I still am, but I'm probably one of the only fans out there I feel who I've seen who's acknowledging the reality of what's going down with Tony Ferguson. He's staying in the octagon way longer than he needs to, and he's just barely getting out. He's getting finished by Bobby Green on the floor. But yeah, he's getting finished, and it just doesn't seem like he's going to salvage that. And it seems like his mind isn't going to quit, but his body already is. We're all thinking the same thing. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tony gets a win, goes out, and rides off on the sunset. In fact, honestly, I would really like to see the end. Even if he wins this fight, I still want to see him go after this because he's done enough for the sport. But it just seems like every time he's cranking up the sticking around meter and the matchup meter more and more to the point where fans are like, what are you doing, man? And he might be setting himself up for another loss. That's why this video pains me to make it. Because it's just not the same Tony. The Tony we knew was that top dude who always stuck up for the fans, who was always there for us. And I'm going to be in his corner still. I have to be. Because I don't really want to be in Paddy Pimblett's corner. Not after the way he handled his last victory. Very controversial decision. But I just hope Tony just makes out of this fight all right. He probably will. But every time he signs on that dotted line, no matter who he's facing, I think it's just time that he packs up and moves on. That's all.